Today I want to talk about my favorite way to use DVC points. So my family has owned DVC points since 2014. We bought our points on a Disney cruise over Thanksgiving. It was really cool because it was like a Black Friday sale. I'm not sure if they do that anymore. But we have used our points every year since then in a variety of ways. But I do have my favorite way of using my points, and I wanted to share it with you today because a lot of people will tell you that this is not the way that you should use your points. I kind of feel like use your points the way that you want a vacation. So if you have points and you know you're not going to go to the resort at the park, or you don't want to go and have that kind of vacation, then maybe this is for you. I don't feel like there's a one-size-fits-all kind of Disney vacation. What's great about Disney Vacation Club points is you can use them so many different ways. Of course, if you want to use your points at your home resort because that's where you bought, because you love that resort, then great, that works for you. But if you want to experience Disney in a different way than, you know, the traditional, let's go to Walt Disney World, let's spend a week at the parks, and then when we get home we're exhausted. If you want to do that, if that works for you, that's great. But if you don't like that, maybe you want to try a Disney cruise or Adventures by Disney, and you can use Disney Vacation Club points for those experiences. My favorite way to use our DVC points is for a Disney cruise. Now, and a lot of people will tell you that it's not a good use of points. I disagree. I think that a cruise gives you great value for your points. I think when you stay at a resort at the parks, there's so much more that you still have to pay for. You still have to pay for park tickets because you're probably going to go to the parks. You still have to pay for every single meal. You still have to pay for so many experiences that aren't included. Character breakfasts, I mean, and if you want to meet characters, you're probably going to have to go to the parks. If you want a character breakfast, you can do that outside the parks at just a resort, but you're still going to have to pay for that meal. When you go on a Disney cruise, you get a 4-course meal at every dinner, included in the price of your cruise. You get all of your meals included, breakfast, lunch, dinner, pool snacks, like all of your meals are included unless you go to Palo or Remy. And you get a 4-course meal every night for dinner. I mean, I just don't think you get that kind of value when you stay at Walt Disney World. Character meet and greets on the ship are spectacular because you get to meet so many characters so close together. You get a more intimate experience with them because the lines are shorter, because there are fewer people on the ship. You're never going to go to Walt Disney World and meet a character and have a wonderful experience with them and they will remember you tomorrow, because there are so many more people in the parks than there are on the ship. On the ship, Tiana will remember you. If you had dinner last night at Tiana's place and you see her again today, she will remember you at the meet and greet. It's just a much more intimate experience with those characters. And character breakfasts on the ship are included, and a lot of people don't know that. So I see greater value in using points for a Disney cruise. If you disagree with me, that's fine, but you know, this is not for you. If you're thinking that you've got small kids or the parks are too fast-paced for you, then maybe think about using your points for a Disney cruise. Because if you go on a Disney cruise and you spend no money, you'll still have a wonderful experience. It's still going to be an amazing vacation. You're going to go home ultimately relaxed and happy, and the only thing you'll owe at the end of the cruise are your gratuities. So you can cruise for $95 plus your automatic gratuities. It's really great. When you book anything with your DVC points, there's a $95 booking fee. There's no way around that, but still, it's less than $100 to book a vacation. When you book a cruise, you can combine points and cash. So if you have 2 people in the stateroom, you'll have to pay for each person in full by one method. So if passenger number 1 is used, you pay points, passenger number 1 will have to be paid for completely in points. And passenger number 2 you can use cash on, or you could use points for both if you wanted to do that. One of my favorite reasons to cruise using points is because of the 30% discount. I don't know how many people know about this, but there are some very cool discounts that DVC members get, and I will link directly to these discounts. There's a 20% off discount for Adventures by Disney and 30% off cruises. Now, it's not all cruises. There are select cruises. But like, we were booked on an Alaska cruise for this summer that was a 30% off sailing. So what happens with this 30% off discount is you get 30% off the points and 30% off the cash price for the people you use cash for. So if you book 2 people, again, the first passenger points will be 30% off and the second passenger cash will be 30% off. So it's a really great discount. You just have to know where to look for it. I'm going to link directly to that one in the description box, but that is my favorite discount for Disney Vacation Club members. I will say sometimes it can be really expensive to book a Disney cruise using points. Now, you have to do it wisely if you're going to be sailing in the off season. So I think it's called value season on the points charts. If you're sailing in the value season, it's a great deal. If you can sacrifice for a smaller room, like an ocean view room with a window instead of a veranda, or even an inside stateroom, you're going to get a much better deal. A lot of it has to do with the time of year that you're sailing. So if you can sail in January, because that's one of the cheapest times to sail, or September, which is the peak season of hurricane season, but if you can sail in value season, you're going to get a much better deal. Always try to book wisely and look for discounts. Use those discounts. Always call and ask if there is a discount you can apply to your sailing. But don't let somebody else tell you how to vacation. If you hate this idea, then don't let me try to convince you. Just do what you want to do. But if you have heard not to use DVC points on a cruise and you still want to do it, then I'm on your side, because this is what I do. We've used our points to stay at parks, but this is what I prefer to do. We live really close to the parks, and so it's really not convenient for us most of the time anyway. We did use points to stay at the boardwalk last December, and we did a resort hop vacation. So we went into the parks one time just for a Christmas party at Magic Kingdom. But the rest of the time we just went around to the resorts to see Christmas decorations, and it was great. But if you're looking for somebody to be on your side to use DVC points for a cruise, I'm right here, I'm on your side. So this is my favorite way to use Disney Vacation Club points. Of course, there are lots of other ways to use them. We haven't used our points to stay at our home resort yet because we own at Aulani and we haven't been out there since 2012, and we bought our points in 2014. When we bought our points, I think Aulani was open, but when we were out in Hawaii in 2012, they were still building the resort. So we haven't had the opportunity to stay there. I'm really looking forward to that. Anyway, I think that's all I've got to say. If you have any questions about DVC points or the discount, getting the discount, leave your questions in a comment and I will try to get to them. You'll see me really soon. Bye, everybody.